Now I know none of you enjoy training agility, so what if I told you it was possible to reach level 93 without training a single XP of agility the traditional way? Or using silverhawks? It's not possible. I don't believe it. I don't care. All perfectly valid responses. I will now run through the entire journey from level 1 to 93. As you might have guessed, this is going to involve a whole lot of questing. We start off with a few quests with 0 requirements, the Desert Trilogy. Stolen Hearts, Diamond in the Rough and Jack of Spades. In total, this gets us 1k XP and level 9. After this, we look at a couple more with very minimal requirements. Recruitment Drive requires a bit of combat training and missing presumed death. We're now at level 16 agility and it's time to help out Igflarian. This requires Gertrude's Cat and gives us a whopping 4000 agility XP, taking us to 23 agility. Continuing the very low requirement quests, we complete Violet is Blue and Violet is Blue 2, along with Tourist Trap, that requires level 20 smithing and 10 fletching. These free quests give massive rewards, getting us up to a total of 31.6k XP and level 38. On to Troll Stronghold. This requires Death Plateau, again a pretty fast quest, and level 20 thieving. After Stronghold, we're going to move on to Myths of the White Lands and Gunner's Ground. This requires level 3 crafting. Pretty simple, really. After those, we should be at level 43 agility and 52.6k XP. You know what it's time for? It's one of everyone's favourite quests, One Small Favour. Before this, you need Rune Mysteries, Shiloh Village and Druidic Ritual, all required with level 18 Herblore, 25 crafting and 30 smithing. The quest does give 20k XP and takes us all the way up to level 46. Following those is the Grand Tree and Troll Romance. It's recommended to have your defensive prayers by now, but you could probably beat it without them. I'm sure you could do it. These quests will take us up to level 48. There's no other requirements on those two. It's then time to do the murdering of a unicorn. It's time for Underground Pass. Only requirements for this are Plague City and Biohazard, and 25 ranged. Pretty easy to get. Following these is Dishonor Among Thieves. This does require Haziel's Cult completed and level 30 thieving. Following that, we've got Fremnik Trials. This requires a few levels of crafting, up to level 40, fletching 25, and woodcutting also 40. Another simple quest follows this, with Carnelian Rising, needing level 33 thieving and 31 construction. It's taken some time to get from level 49 to 50, but these next two quests will get us there. Meeting History, which requires making history, and A Tale of Two Cats, that you should already have all the quests completed for. That gets us to 50, halfway. Okay, it's been pretty simple to this point, right? There's not been too many requirements, anything like that. But it's time to do some really fun stuff. Lots of quests coming up. It's time for Dealing with Scabarous. This requires Contact, The Feud, Zogre Flesh Eaters, and Big Chompy Bird Hunting. I wish I could tell you the next quest is easier, but if anything, it's probably harder. We're doing Darkness of Hallowvale. This requires Restless Ghost, Priest in Peril, Nature Spirit, In Search of the Myrique, and Aid of the Myrique. You also need a few levels of training, 20 mining, 33 magic, and 40 strength. These two quests, however, give us a grand 20k XP, up to 126k, 312. We're going to stick over with the vampires now, and it's time for Legacy of Seergaze. This requires Darkness of Hallowvale for quests, but needs 31 Slayer, 35 mining, 40 fire making, 47 crafting, and 49 magic. Moving from vampires to pirates and cabin fever, requiring pirate's treasure and rum deal. The rest of your stats will get a nice buff here too. Level 50 smithing, 40 range and farming, 47 prayer, 50 fishing, and 42 slayer are needed. We're now up to 53 agility, and it's not taken that long, right? Well, now we're going to start Recipe for Disaster, that true classic quest that is huge and old school for the Barrier's Gloves. And you're going to be freeing King Awawegi. I'm not sure how you say that, it's probably completely wrong. And you know what that means? It's time to get Monkey Madness and Cook's Assistant complete. You'll also need to train your first level 70 skill, and this will be cooking. With that complete, we move from monkeys to penguins, and it's Cold War time. Only a little bit of hunting up to level 10 and construction 34 is needed here. So this is where things start to get really good. It's time for Kenneth's Concerns, and this might require a few quests, such as Wanted, Lost Tribe, Goblin Diplomacy, Enter the Abyss, Sea Slug, and the Slug Menace. Oh, and a little bit of mining up to 46 as well. If you thought the fun ended there, then you are gravely mistaken. Next is Land of the Goblins, requiring Death to the Dorgeshuun, another slice of ham, dig site, giant dwarf, and fishing contest. There's also some thieving up to 36 and herblore 37 needed as well. And the fun doesn't stop there. It's time for Evil Dave's big day out. But for 20k XP, it does require Shadow of the Storm, Demon Slayer, the Golem, and freeing Dave from Recipe of Disaster. On the plus side, there shouldn't be much leveling needed, and we're now up to 183,312 XP and level 55. You'll be glad to hear that the next quest requires no leveling or quests. But it isn't for the faint of heart. It's Broken Home time. This will bump us all the way to level 56 agility. And with level 56 agility, we unlock the ability to complete Regicide, and you bet that's what's coming next. Again, shouldn't need any requirements if you complete this guide, so crack on, get it done. And it's time to go and visit the moon. We need Fairy Tail 2's 2.5k XP. Surprisingly enough, we need to complete Fairy Tail 1. And we actually need to do some decent training. 40 thieving, 49 farming, and 57 herblore before completing the quest. Making the most of completing Fairy Tail 1, we're going to go on to Back to My Roots, a quest that requires Hand in the Sand, Tribal Totem, and one small favour from all those minutes ago. We're also getting a brand new highest level of level 72 woodcutting, alongside 53 farming and 59 slayer. Our agility level is 57, and our XP is flying all the way to 216,112. We're now moving on to a quest that you shouldn't have any requirements for. The Chosen Commander. You just need to do a little bit of level training, 46 strength and 46 thieving are required to do the quest. Time to illegally borrow some knowledge in the Great Brain Robbery. After finishing Creature of Fenkenstrain and freeing Pete in Recipe of Disaster, it's time to pray and reach level 50 before taking the quest on. The questing continues with Murder Mystery, Holy Grail, and Merlin's Crystal, all required for the next quest of King's Ransom. You should be able to wear some dragon armor at this point with level 65 defense. It's time to take a break and go and complete a Dungeoneering saga, Vengeance. This requires finding some swords and having level 23 Dungeoneering to access floor 12. You'll also require 55 agility. This saga gives a massive 25,415 XP and brings us up to 271,527 XP, which is level 59. Now do a little bit more thieving, bump it up to 58, complete Witch's House, and it's time to complete Grim Tales. It's time for one of those more lengthy ones, Defender of Varrock. This requires What Lies Below, Temple of Ikov, Shield of Arav, Garden of Tranquility, and Family Crest. These are needed alongside 51 Hunter, 54 Smithing, and 59 Mining. Continuing the journey, it's now time for Legends Quest. Waterfall Quest, Dragon Slayer, and Heroes Quest are all required for this, so get busy completing these classic quests. You'll need 50 crafting, 56 magic, and 50 strength too. Now, Legends Quest is complete. It's time for us to earn our first absolutely huge reward. Branches of Darkmires, 170,000 XP. Now, we've got the quest done already. It's just a few levels of woodcutting, up to 76, magic 70, slayer 67, crafting 64, and farming 63 standing in your way. After such an epic reward, we reach level 64 agility and 457,177 XP. From the vampires, we're going to be taking a trip to Miscellania. We're going to complete Throne of Miscellania and Royal Trouble. These don't require any levels and should be a nice fast interlude in this agility grind. One thing that might not be such a fast grind is Azanadra's quest. This requires a Desert Treasure and the Vault of Shadows mini quest to be completed, alongside level 58 Prayer and 70 Divination. Yeah, we've not trained Divination yet. Enjoy that. And 58 Archaeology, of course. We then head back to Varrock, and we're completing the regular Curse of Arav and the Dimension of Disaster version. Between these, you require Senlitum being rebuilt, Shades of Mortar, Missing My Mummy. There's levels to go to: 41 Summoning, 64 Range, 64 Strength, 64 Mining, and 66 Thieving. So now there's more quests to come with Spirits of Elid, Jack of Spades, and a large gathering of Menethos rep needed before completing Crocodile Tears. Oh, and 7,372 fishing. Now, through this journey, we've been dabbling in some of the Recipe for Disaster quests, but it's time to complete the whole lot. As you know, there's a massive amount of requirements for each task, so I won't list them here, but that's what's next. Oh, you'll also need Horror from the Deep completed too. With the Colomancer defeated, it's time to go back to the Penguins, and we're going to complete Back to the Freezer. This requires Ernest the Chicken, Some Like It Cold, and the Hunt for Red Raktuber, alongside 45 rune crafting. It's now time to leap all the way from 540,000 XP to 940,000. This is through the power of While Guthix Sleeps. There's a whole load of quests to do to get to this point, including Dream Mentor, the Path of Glothroi, Tears of Guthix, and Hunt for Sorok. That XP doesn't come easy. You'll be training Farming to 65, Herblore to 65, and Magic to 75. It should take you all the way to 72 Agility, however. So far, we've not really dealt with too many tricky puzzles, right? We've avoided elemental workshops, but it's time for that to change. It's time for Morning's End Part 2. Roving Elves, Sheepherd, and Morning's End Part 1 are needed to get it done, and you can go guilelessly through the puzzle of Lasery Doom, I believe. We just took the path to Glothroi a few minutes ago. It's now time to look at the Prisoner. 60k XP awaits, and the quests are already completed. All that's needed is level 62 construction and 61 rune crafting. Onto Rocking Out we go. 25k XP for this quest, and all you need is 66 crafting and 69 smithing. Then with a few more levels, 74 firemaking, 76 constitution, you get 30k XP from Firemaker's Curse. Oh, and another easy 25k from Kindred Spirits. No quest needed and not a single skill level. We're now up to level 74 and 1.1 million XP. It's time to take a trip under Karamja and grab 30k XP from the Elder Kiln. Yet again, no requirements for either level or quests. From the darkness, we move within the light for 35k more XP with 70 fletching, 75 ranged, and 75 woodcutting required. Now the vampires have been a good source of XP so far, and here comes another 450,000. We're going to complete Lord of Vampirium and River of Blood. Combined, they require a large amount of leveling, but no new quests. 75 attack, defense, strength, and fletching needed, with 79 construction, 78 slayer, 76 hunter, 72 mining, and 80 herblore needed to complete. You shouldn't be too far off at this point for a lot of those skills, because we have been doing some training throughout the journey. With these quests complete, we're up to 1,615,177 XP, also known as level 77. Now my first main aim in Runescape when I started was to unlock Craftiness, complete Plague's End. Well, that's what you guys are doing next. All you gotta do is complete Catapult construction and a little bit of leveling. 75 crafting, dungeoneering, mining, and prayer and summoning are all required. Summoning will take some time, haven't done any of that yet, but I'm sure you can bash through it. You'll have got loads of charms by now. We're definitely reaching that phase where every quest is a huge quest. Ritual of the Marjarat is next, and you'll have Enakhra's Lament, Fairytale Free, and Fight Arena to complete before starting it out. A single level of crafting and mining to bump them to 76 is needed, and that'll let you grab the 350,000 XP reward from the quest. We're now at the nice round level 80 agility, and this lets us use the reward from the next quest on the list. The World Wakes, a true epic quest, awaits us next with no quest requirements or skill at this point. It's a 300k XP. Following that, another super important quest, Fate of the Gods, 75 XP that requires a little divination training to 75, and mage training to 79. Another huge duo of quests coming up here. Children of Mar and the Light Within give us 490,000 XP combined. A little bit of training for crafting, divination, prayer, slayer, and woodcutting to level 80 is needed, but then we're rolling in it, and we're all the way up to level 83 agility. Pieces of Hate comes next, with the pirates making their final appearance for 50k XP. All that's required is Clockwork Syringe, and 81 construction, 82 firemaking, and 85 thieving. There's also one of a kind that gives some bonus XP for if you want to go past the end of this guide. Now, we need to complete one of a kind for future quests, so it's worth getting it out of the way now. All you need, 81 magic, all the other quests you should already have done. Following this, we're onto Koshay's Trouble, I think that's how you say it. This gives 30k XP, requires Blood Runs Deep, Glorious Memories, and some of the Fremennik achievements completed. You'll also need level 90 Strength and Prayer. We are reaching the end, and it's time for the Tales of Nomad. Nomad's Elegy, Heart of Stone, The Mighty Falls, Nomad's Requiem, and Void Stairs Back are all that's required. Easy, right? And it's time for Extinction, one of the most recent quests, 700,000 XP here, and not a huge amount required really. The Eye of Het mini-quests, Desperate Measures, and City of Sentistan are needed. and this should push you up to level 85 agility. Okay, it's the big one. 1.25 million XP from this quest. Sliske's endgame. It's massive, it's huge, and there's a few quests needed. Nomad's Elegy should already be ticked, Hero's Welcome, and Death of Chivalry. With these done and these rewards claimed, we hit level 88 and 4,714,677 XP. Oh, hang on. Tower Limester gives us an extra 200 onto that total. Now, you'll notice here the XP values given are a little bit random, and that's because we're starting to use lamps to scale with a level. Hence why we've kept these ones until the end of the fixed XP rewards. We're going to start with the Needle Skips lamps. These should give 6.4k XP. Benedict's World Tour is kinda crazy. You get over 75k XP and all it requires is Stolen Hearts. You get a lot of different lamps from it. I think it's 4 small and 2 large. It's kinda crazy. Head of the Family is next. This does require level 90 woodcutting, fishing, and 91 cooking needed to complete it. Does give 19.2k XP. Now, we already completed Desperate Times earlier, but I hope you didn't use that lamp. It's time now, and it'll get you 51.2k XP. This brings us up to level 89. Now we have 2 final bits on this list. Curse of the Blackstone and Ghost from the Past mini quest. This mini quest requires some more Arc bits and bobs, Spiritual Enlightenment, Flagfall, Eye for an Eye, and Harbinger. Once they're completed, it's time to use all that XP and reach our final total from quests. 5,047,194 XP, or level 89. Now, you may have thought we were done. However, you've forgotten achievement diaries, right? They give you insane XP rewards. To be honest, I kind of wish I'd done them myself. You will need to complete 1 Piercing Note and Tower of Life to get all these tasks complete. All the other quests you should already have ticked off as you've been going. Now you'll see on the screen we've got the totals going down of everything you earn from each different reward, and it's massive. There are some that require you to get to level 93 before you can use them, and there are some that we can't use because it's all the way up in level 95, and unfortunately we don't quite reach there. The grand total of XP from achievement diaries is 2,275,500 XP. Now, adding that on to our previous total, the grand total of XP from not training any agility the traditional way is 7,322,694 XP. Now, that is level 93, and apart from a single agility shortcut that's level 94, which is the shortcut in Shiloh Village, the Hydrix Dragons, you've unlocked every single other agility-based unlock. So you don't actually need to train agility at all. And this is obviously, I've completely ignored Silverhawk feathers here, which if you have them passively running while you're running around, you're probably going to end up closer to 99. You also have every single grapple shortcut unlocked. The final one of those is at level 90. So it's just a few little bits of like run energy you're missing, and that's it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my guide of how to get to level 93 agility without actually training agility. Yeah, let me know what you thought, and let me know how long it takes you to complete.